What's up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. My name is Hayden. Today, I'm joined by my good friend Preston, and we're going to be talking about our thoughts and opinions on the Wyatt 6 and if WWE has already ruined the debut of this new faction. So, Preston, if you just want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about you so they can get familiar with you on this channel.
Well, yeah, my name is Preston. Like he just mentioned, I'm really in tune with this WWE. I'm ready for the Wyatt 6. Whatever they come out, I'm ready for it.
So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the absence of the Wyatt 6 and if we think that the WWE has already ruined the debut of this faction or not. And I'm going to go ahead with my opinion first. And I do not think that this debut has already been ruined. And there are several reasons as to why. Number one, the only thing that we have confirmed so far is that the Wyatt 6 have apparently been dealing with some sort of injury-related issue. At least that is what it says on all of the dirt sheets, on all of the reports that you read, which Preston, by the way, brought up a good example a little bit ago. Do not believe everything that you read on the dirt sheets.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just like it puts you in a phase where like, man, this guy ain't showing up, this person ain't showing up, and then when they show up, you're like, why did I believe that? Like, stop believing what you see, bro.
Because dealing with the Wyatt 6, something that was reported a lot when Bray Wyatt was released from WWE is that he was actually going to sign with AEW. They said there was already a deal confirmed, a deal on the way, and that couldn't have been any further from the truth. Like we saw, Bray Wyatt obviously return to the WWE at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, so don't believe everything that you read online. Like I said, the only thing that I have read so far is that the Wyatts have been off of television because of a injury-related issue, and the number one report that we're seeing everywhere is that Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy, is the one that was sustaining and dealing with an injury, and that is the reason why the Wyatt 6 were off of TV. But this left a lot of people mad because they're saying, even if Uncle Howdy is injured, why is he just not staying at home, and why are they not continuing the story with the Wyatt 6 without him? To that, I say I have a very good explanation as to why. You cannot have a cult, you cannot have a group officially after they debut, you cannot have them without the leader. If you think back to the old Wyatt family days, imagine if as soon as they debuted on the main roster, they were sending Luke Harper and Eric Rowan down to the ring without Bray Wyatt because he was at home dealing with an injury. Especially with Uncle Howdy or Bo Dallas being the brother of Bray Wyatt, he is the main one left to carry on this legacy. So if it comes down to anything, it definitely comes down to him. You cannot have this storyline without the leader, without the main person carrying on the legacy of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I don't believe the injury to Bo Dallas because I seen a Instagram post or something, like it was like backstage of all the Wyatt 6s. They were actually like taking pictures or hugging somebody backstage. I don't think he's injured. I think they're just waiting for the right opportunity, especially with Alexa Bliss and everything. I think they're waiting for the right opportunity for them to come back full faction and then dominate. I think that's what they're waiting for.
That also brings up a very good question. Is Alexa Bliss going to join the Wyatt 6, and when is she going to join the Wyatt 6? Obviously, we both think that Alexa Bliss is joining this faction. We all know that Alexa Bliss is eventually joining this faction. This is not only told to us by all of these vignettes and all of this static and stuff that appears during Alexa Bliss's matches, but we all knew that it was coming to this. Alexa Bliss has had her fair share of run-ins with Bray Wyatt, with The Fiend. They honestly carried a lot of the company throughout the pandemic era, so I definitely know that they are leading up to this, but I think that maybe they're waiting on the right time, because Alexa Bliss has also been off of television. Maybe they're trying to brainstorm and think of a smart way, a creative way to bring her back. I, for one, think that the way they're going to bring her back is a feud with Liv Morgan with the Judgment Day, and then possibly all culminate at WrestleMania.
Well, I do think Liv Morgan versus Alexa Bliss will happen at WrestleMania. I think what is going to happen, I feel like the Wyatt 6 can come out and help Alexa Bliss win. I really hope that Liv Morgan loses to Alexa Bliss, because I feel like if Alexa Bliss loses, it's kind of like, if she loses, I can see a way that like the Wyatt 6 can help her, but I feel like Alexa Bliss has to win this at WrestleMania for her to join the Wyatt 6, because they got to be a dominant faction,
I could see Alexa Bliss losing, and the reason I kind of see that happening is because I feel like the Wyatt 6 have kind of waited until each member has been at their lowest point to try and get them into the family. You look at Uncle Howdy, who was obviously dealing with the very personal struggle of losing his brother. Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, they all found themselves at a very low point in their career, a very broken point where they were just looking for acceptance. They were looking for family, and I feel like the Wyatts like to wait until you are at your lowest point to try and get you within their grasp of this family. So let's say Alexa Bliss does lose her return match at WrestleMania. She's finally back at WrestleMania. She faces Liv Morgan. Let's say she does lose. I do see this as a very good way to reintroduce her to the Wyatts. Maybe the Wyatts come out and save her. They come out and show her that she is worth more than losing to Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. And I think that it's obviously going to culminate to a feud with the Judgment Day if it does lead to anything. The number one thing that I'm reading about the Wyatts is that they are still wanting them to be a big plan, a big part of WrestleMania. So they could obviously return anywhere from now to then. They could return at WrestleMania itself and help Alexa Bliss against Liv Morgan. They could return at the Raw after Mania. They could return any point from now to then. Maybe they don't even do that. Like I said, you can't believe everything you read, but that is something that I did read from a Fightful Select article not long ago.
I think personally, real talk, if Alexa Bliss loses this match, I think this can make her go back to her wild side, like when she was in the Thunderdome with Bray Wyatt. I think that can make her come back to the Wyatt Six. I think that'd be a perfect opportunity because like we haven't seen that recently.
You know, there are several seeds still planted from her time with Bray Wyatt. We have seen that she obviously still carries around her Lily doll. She has the Fiend on the back of her jacket, the word Fiend when it says Friends Forever. So let's say she does end up getting back in this Wyatt Six. She is the sixth member of this family. Obviously, every member in the Wyatt Six is playing a part. Joe Gacy is Huskus the Pig. Dexter Loomis is Mercy the Buzzard. Nikki Cross is already Abby the Witch. Do you think that Alexa Bliss is just going to kind of portray the Lily doll?
I think so, but in a different way they actually had her previously. I think it's going to be a side of her like we never seen before. I feel like she's going to even be more crazier than we've seen her in the Thunderdome. You know, when Roman was the champion and when Roman was coming out, the way she gave that look to Roman Reigns, I was like, I kind of got scared for him. I was like, oh, dude, you better watch your back because Alexa Bliss, I mean, she took on Randy Orton. So, I mean, that's crazy, bro. If you're going against Randy Orton, the Apex Predator, come on now. I mean, he is a legend killer for a reason. So, like, it's just, I feel like it's going to bring out a new crazy for her.
Yeah, and you know, they did show the powers of Alexa Bliss in the Thunderdome. She was able to throw fireballs. She was able to make, sound systems almost fall and hit Randy Orton during their match. She was able to resurrect the Fiend after he had been burned alive. I feel like there's nothing that the Wyatts stop at. I feel like they're kind of one of the most unstoppable powerhouses in the WWE. They're definitely one of the strongest factions if WWE lets them live up to their full potential. Obviously, we haven't seen too much. The only feuds they've had were against like American Made with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. They also had a feud against the Final Testament where the AOP isn't even under WWE contract anymore. They haven't made them look strong yet. They also had them take a couple of pinfall losses and a couple of bad moments as well. So I'm just wondering how they build the strength back up when it comes to this faction. I know it's going to be a slow burn because anything with the Wyatts, it's all piggybacking off of the legacy of Bray Wyatt and all of his creativeness, all of his ideas. They were very slow. It took you a long time to finally grasp the full detail. There's also a lot of stuff in Bray Wyatt's career that we never even got a full glimpse at. We never even fully understand a lot of his stories.
Dude, because like right before he passed, dude, I think he just got done with the feud with LA Knight, right?
Yeah, he had a feud with LA Knight. They had the pitch black match at Royal Rumble. I know his last appearance was him and Uncle Howdy interrupting Hit Row, and he was calling out the winner of Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. And they were never able to make it that far, unfortunately.
That would have been an interesting, dude. Oh my god, that would have been an interesting storyline, dude. Like, it's just Bray Wyatt. Like, you could put him with anybody, and he would make that person. Like, you could put him with like Austin Theory or Grayson Waller, and he would make them look like a top 5 star out there. I mean, it's just that's what he did.
Bray
He didn't care who you were. He wanted to boost you up, dude. He wasn't down on you. He was like, because speaking of this John Cena heel turn, he kind of told us that he's seen it coming.
Yeah, Bray told us a while ago. Bray told us a while ago. He could see the truth in John Cena. He could see the heel. Yeah. And so you just reminded me of something. Bray Wyatt's first feud, or his first main feud after his return, was with LA Knight. And people, they wanted LA Knight to shine, so they didn't like seeing him take the loss at the Royal Rumble. This was right before the crowd started to get fully behind LA Knight. Yeah. But think back, LA Knight would not be where he is right now if it wasn't for that feud with Bray Wyatt. Obviously, the fans loved him. The fans wanted him to shine. But if it wasn't for the feud with Bray Wyatt, then he would never have been elevated to that level, because that was one of the most talked about matches of the show. A lot of people had their good reasons, their bad reasons, but the pitch black match was so cool. It was so original, and I know it got a lot of hate at the time, but if you look back, that's one of the things that people are going to look from that time period and be like, this is crazy. This is something that we'll never see again.
Do you think in all of LA Knight's history with the WWE, he was going to be in the same freaking ring with The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt? He boosted him so high that he got a chance to be in the ring with a top 5 wrestler of all time, The Undertaker, because he's in my top 5. And then Bray Wyatt, I mean, that's just right there. I mean, if I was in that ring, I would have gone back and be like, that's a memory I would never forget. I mean, that's star power right there, dude. Bray Wyatt and Undertaker. Come on, dude.
Especially that moment meant a lot to me because those are my two favorite wrestlers of all
Yeah,
time. Obviously,
sure
The
is.
Undertaker and Bray Wyatt are my top two wrestlers ever. So seeing them in the ring, seeing that passing of the torch moment, it's just so sad and unfortunate that we weren't able to go much farther. And I really,
What do
really,
you think Undertaker said to him that night, to Bray Wyatt?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, the Undertaker's on record saying it's just between him and Bray, so I don't want to theorize. You know, I don't want
Yeah.
to. I don't want to sound like a know-it-all. There's no telling. You know, he could have looked
Could
at
have
him
been
and
a
been
future
like,
storyline or something like that. Yeah.
and he could have looked at him and been like, "Good shit," and just
Oh,
walked.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it could have been something deeper. It could have been like, hell yeah. You know, you
Yeah.
never know. So I don't know, but we got to get back on topic here. We got to talk about the
Yeah,
Wyatt
sorry. Yeah,
Six.
we got on
Rest in
topic.
peace, Bray
Yeah.
Wyatt. I miss
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, but we got to get back on topic of the
Yeah, talk
Wyatt
about the Wyatt
Six.
Six. Yeah.
Do we think that the WWE has ruined this faction already? I'll let you go ahead and say your opinions first.
No, I do not, because WWE is all about long storytelling. So I mean, you can put them at any spot wherever they're going to. I mean, they can show up. They can show up, dude. They can show up at NXT and still get a massive pop and get story. I mean, people are going to follow them either way. I'm gonna follow them. I don't care if someone else doesn't follow them. I'm gonna follow them. You're gonna follow them, dude. If one person doesn't follow them, that don't mean the entire. I mean, we got millions. That's when the Rock says in the millions. There's millions of fans still wanting to see the Wyatt Six. So they're going wherever they show up. There will be fans going crazy for them.
You know, and I don't think that just a small little drought in the career is enough to say that they have ruined the faction. I don't think they fumbled the faction. Going back to LA Knight, since we've already talked about him, look at when he first debuted on the main roster. He was Max Dupree. They had him with the Maximum Male models. Everyone thought his career was over. Think about when they changed Walter's name to Gunther. Everyone thought his career was over. But this small part in their career is not going to define their entire success with the group. They had one of the coolest debuts of all time. They have some of the coolest characters that I've ever seen portrayed in person with the masks and the outfits. They're carrying on one of the most important legacies in modern wrestling history with Bray Wyatt. I don't think that the WWE has come anywhere close to ruining this.
That's like saying if Roman Reigns, before he came back, or somebody like Bray Wyatt, you don't want him back like next week and then show up the next week and next week, because then it's just like you want to give the crowd like optimistic. You want to be like, oh, is he gonna show up tonight? Let me buy tickets. It's gonna be in town. Let me buy tickets. You never know, and be the one time you don't buy tickets and he shows up, where if you're working or something, like, dang, I missed it, but you should have been there. You should have.
I know that feeling all too well. It seems like every time I get to go to an event, or every time I get to actually sit and watch it because I'm not working, it's nothing happens. And then the next week, I'm like,
he'll show up the next week. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Bray Wyatt made his return. I was so excited to see him. Not only at one show, but at two. We went to a SmackDown, we went to a live event. I was so excited to see him at least one of them, and that was the 1 week where he just wasn't on the road.
I mean, they show LA Knight backstage, and then you see the smoke, and everybody goes crazy, and it's just Scarlett
and Cross, bro. I don't want to see that. I mean, no offense
to Karrion Kross,
on, bro.
It's Bray Wyatt, dude. Like, yeah.
You show me a little Bray Wyatt preview. You show me that, you know, he's about to come out. You're showing the Pitch Black match. You're hyping it up, and I see smoke coming out, and I'm like, oh shit, it's going. It's
especially
when
LA Knight's backstage and has he's actually talking to Caleb Braxton. You're like, oh crap. I thought he was gonna come out and address the fans, and then no, it's just Karrion Kross
and nothing. It's Karrion Kross. You know, like I said, no disrespect.
It comes out next week,
Kross, but man, come on. Yeah, next week and like what, the next 2, 3, 4 weeks after that. You know, the same thing that happened with the Wyatt Six when we just went to SmackDown just about a month and a half ago. I could have sworn, you know, Alexa Bliss was returning to SmackDown. It was her first match back against, who was it, like Candice LeRae, and I could have sworn the Wyatts were coming. I could have sworn, I was like, they're joining. Nope, nothing. Like we said, at the end of the day, it's going to be a slow burn. It's going to be a long story that we're going to have to strap in and just be ready for. And I don't think that the WWE has come anywhere close to ruining this debut of the Wyatt Six. I think that they still have plenty of potential, plenty of bright futures ahead of them. I think they're going to go down as one of the strongest factions in WWE history by the time it's all said and done. And I do think that they are going to incorporate Alexa Bliss, and they're definitely going to be back sooner than later. You know, I don't think it's going to be a return like a year from now. I think they're definitely going to be back this year. I'd like to see them back by WrestleMania if possible. Like I said, if there is any injuries, if there is anything wrong with any of the members of the Wyatt Six, you know, obviously I hope they take their time, they heal, they play this right. You don't want to rush anything. We've learned that time and time again. So we are going to see a return from the Wyatt Six, and it is still going to be incredible.
If they weren't facing a full faction at WrestleMania, I would like to see one of the tag team championships, like whoever they pick in their group versus the Street Profits. I would love to see that, or the Viking Raiders, whatever their brand they're on. I would like to see that. That'd be pretty cool to see, because I would like them to go for tag team gold again.
I can see that, but I don't know if I can see the Wyatts walking around with championships.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know if
mean,
I could see them making their creepy entrance and they just have these huge gold belts. I mean, we seen the
you think they
Fiend
would
with a
create their own though?
championship, and
You
the
think they
Fiend
would create
pulled it
their
off.
own?
Maybe, maybe
Because
they
you
have
know the
like this
Fiend. I mean, the Fiend had the
dinky.
belt, so I had his own belt, and that thing looked good, dude. I
That's
still wish I
true.
got it.
They could do something like that, but with each of the characters' masks. Let's say
Yeah.
like Joe
Oh,
Gacy and Dexter
yes,
Loomis do it.
yes, that would
Maybe
be cool.
Dexter has like a buzzard belt. Joe Gacy has like a pig belt. That would be really cool. As soon as I put them on WWE Shop, I gotta get both of them. So
Dude, I
that's a
don't
good
care.
idea
Like
for
my
WWE.
bank account's gonna be like, "Don't do this." Always happening.
And it's gonna be like, shut up, bank account. I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is our thoughts and opinions on the Wyatt 6. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And definitely let us know down in the comments below if you think the Wyatt 6 are on the path of success or if you think the WWE has already fumbled this return. My name is Hayden. This has been Preston, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.